We are recapping Manchester United's loss to Spurs. We lost to Spurs 4-3 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. What a mess that was from United. Made a meal of it. There's a reason Bayern Dier has not been playing much. United going down 3 goals pretty early into the second half. Possessed the ball quite well. Created some chances, but we were sloppy in moments as well. And then just some bad defensive errors. Some huge goalkeeping errors that actually got us both in a heap of trouble and then back into the game as well, with Fraser Foster just making a meal of it. And the biggest shame was us not getting the victory, or at least getting the penalties, given the fact that they did the most Spursy thing imaginable, which was let us back into the game after we gave it away in the first place. So a frustrating match for Manchester United, but Ruben Amorim, he continues to make his mark. You see his in-game management. That definitely had a huge role to play with his big, 3 banger subs in the second half early on. So Ruben, he's making his mark. He's only been here, a little bit more than a month. Frustrating, but you know what? I'm not that bad. I'm not that sad that we're dropping out of the EFL Cup, sir. How are we feeling? How are we doing?
This was a shit show for both teams. But for Manchester United, there's a few parts of this match you could break down. Number one, defending is comical. We said when Amorim came in, he's going to institute the new system, the 3-4-3. He also did a lot of rotation, and I just felt like we were too open, made a bunch of errors, and Tottenham punished us. Really embarrassing to go down 3-0. Then we fight back. We get 2 goals. And for me, if you're Manchester United, you're in Tottenham's house, you get 2 back, it's a game, you got to get the third. Like, United had to break through. We didn't even create too much, and then Tottenham obviously get, like, our boy Martinez cooked, absolutely cooked on that 4th goal. It's embarrassing to see. And then, obviously, Johnny Evans, shout out to Johnny, but I feel like United should have done better and conceded less. And then when we had the chance to come back, we had them on the ropes, we had to punch through, and we didn't. The attack, we're not finding the final pass. Bad decisions, bad crosses. I feel like this team just doesn't have the attacking mojo. We are getting in good areas of the pitch, but that final killer pass we don't have. It's a little awkward at times. We turn it over in bad places. That played into Tottenham's hand. And defensively, we're just going to struggle because this new system is hard to learn. And when you're rotating big midweek, playing twice a week, you're going to have it. That being said, 4-3, not horrible, but 3-0, come on. We could do better than that.
No, it's all true. And even I think the most frustrating thing was not getting the 3rd goal until the game was really done in the 94th minute, sir, because like you said, they went ahead, all good. We were still controlling large parts of the game. We were not as effective as we needed to be in the front third of the pitch, converting, but he did make some big subs. You're playing Anthony in the front 3, and that was a struggle to begin with. But then going down those 2 goals early in the second half, getting back into it because of mistakes from their goalkeeper. We had a bunch of mistakes from our goalkeeper as well. He won't be playing under Amorim anytime soon. And then not get that 3rd goal and make it an even game where, maybe if they did get that Sun goal then, which was also another Bayern Dier mistake.
But that goal was also, those 2 were gifted to us. We couldn't even find a way to get through Tottenham. And also Johnny Evans' goal was a set piece. Just through open play. Really, I mean, we did get the XG, but at the end of the day, like, we didn't produce enough from open play. Like, we weren't connecting in the box. We weren't able to make the runs. The attacking patterns were just flat. Turning it over, Amad has a hell of a shot on him. When he touches the ball, he's dangerous. But just linking up, like you said, Anthony didn't come through. Eriksen didn't really play well in the 2. So, lots to improve upon for United. A tough EFL Cup loss. But this goes to Ole's comment. Hey, cups are nice to win, but it's the position in the league that's going to get you there. It's how you play that's going to get you there. Amorim obviously showing us lots of ideas, and I love it.
It's a work in progress. The offense is always the hardest bit to get. Obviously, we conceded a lot of goals. A lot of those are individual errors. But the offense will come together link by link. I also think he needed to rotate the squad, which he did, realizing which players can feature for him and which can't, and maybe where, right? I don't think you're ever going to see Anthony in that front 3 again. I hope not. But it'll come together over time. I think we'll learn from this. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all about the league this year. I think we've won our EFL Cup. We had that against Newcastle, a year back. So I'm not in a rush to win another one. You love to get silverware, especially early on with a new manager and a team that's building momentum and a little bit of confidence, hopefully. But having less games is not a bad thing. But I did see a little bit of mentality at the end, but none of that.
You want to win.
That cutting edge.
The whole,
No,
you
that
don't
cutting
make
edge.
excuses.
They
The whole,
they
like,
frustrated
oh,
it out. I'm not.
Don't
not
be like, oh, I
making
don't want the
excuses.
cup. Like, you know.
No, I don't need the cup.
No.
It's not that I don't want it. It's just that I'm not
No.
going to starve without it.
You don't want to lose to Tottenham.
No.
So no
And
matter what.
the way they celebrated, they ain't winning shit, by the way.
By the way, we played Tottenham. We lost to
No, it
Tottenham. I don't
sucks.
care if it's an EFL Cup. I don't
That's
care
the
if
worst
it's in a
part.
friendly. I don't care. Sir, if it's in the Europa League, Conference League, I don't want to lose to Tottenham. I don't care. I'll worry about the playing more games later. It's not an advantage to lose to Tottenham ever. That's my position. Sir, quick PSA for the podcast. You like the American Devils? Check out our YouTube channel. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for everyone who backed us. Hit the subscribe button. If you are new to the channel, please like and comment below on the videos. We really appreciate all the support. And if you want to go the extra mile to support the American Red Devils podcast, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/American Red Devils. Shout out to our amazing Patreon community who support us and made YouTube viable. Also check out our store. We have great merchandise. We have scarves, we have hats, we have shirts, we have hoodies. Pick something up, support them up it takes, spread the word. And check out AmericanDevils.com. Great articles. Alex is blogging about Rashford heading out the door. We'll get to that a little later. Sir, tell them about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews and 5-star reviews of the American Devils podcast. Wherever you listen, it's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found organically by other top Muppets like yourself, and we're still giving away free merch. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify and send a screenshot of that review to americandevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I'll personally pick, pack, and ship some free ARD gear, send it right to your door anywhere in the world, sir. Let's get into that match. Lads, it's Tottenham. Wow, they certainly did celebrate. Enjoyed that, sir.
All right, we're talking Bayern, Deer, and net. Martinez, Lindelof, Euro, back line, Delo, Ugarte, Eriksson, Mazraoui. Midfield, Bruno, Anthony, and Højlund in the attack. What'd you make of this 11? Lots of rotation from Amorim.
A lot of subs. You understand why he does it, but, you know, certainly concerns about seeing Anthony up front, Lindelof in the middle of the three. That's always going to give you some heartburn. But didn't mind seeing Eriksson, and with Bruno played further up front. Like, I did like that part on paper, but, yeah, I had some concerns. What were you thinking when you saw this 11?
Heavy rotation. You give me Lindelof and Anthony for lunch. I don't know. That's going to create some indigestion in this team. What are the other, please? Also, Eriksson in the 2 with Ugarte made me a little nervous. Euro, excited to see him. But he's got to rotate because we have a ton of games, and he's thinking about that Bournemouth game at the weekend where we need to show up and play our best football. Sir, jumping into the match, please break it down.
United in the first half, fine enough, but lots of passengers in the starting 11, and, sir, we got caught early, second minute, United caught in possession. Spurs, the dangerous pullback, but United escaped unscathed at this point, but it wouldn't take long. 15th minute, Tottenham, they were celebrating in North London, sir. Let's get into it.
Son again can go.
Here's Porro lining up the shot, deflected. Made it awkward. Solanke on the rebound. 1-0. Spurs on the right road again in this competition, and Dominic Solanke scores against United for the 4th time running.
Well, we know Porro can hit them from distance, but I'd have to have another look at it from a keeper's perspective. Sonny knows the run of Maddison, plays it back round, they recycle it to Porro, who has a crack.
I mean, Bayern Deer, you can't, like, cook him for that one. He could do better. I'm worried about those sideburns.
No, Bayern Deer should definitely do better. He should push it away, something. But the defense is also sleepwalking. You know, they're ball watching. Nobody's chasing that, knowing the deflection might come. So Bayern Deer should do better. He's looked shaky in games he has played. He was shaky all day. He was shaky a little bit earlier in the year when he played under Ten Hag. Shakiness will continue, sir, until morale improves, apparently.
Like, the defensive line just
stood there.
froze. Like, they didn't even, like, they weren't wise to the danger, but Solanke jumped right in. He looks good. We talked about signing him. We did not. 60 million. Bournemouth. Break it down, sir.
United did have chances. They were creating, especially from the left. Bruno looked effective on the left side of that front three. He put 2 fantastic balls in. Somehow Højlund nowhere to be found. This has been a problem with Højlund A lot of talk about him not getting chances created for him, but Bruno, especially today, was putting in some great balls. He definitely has a tendency to not be at that back post, and that is key for a good striker, especially like him, who you got to be gobbling up those easy goals.
It's chemistry, though. They're going to get better over time. I mean, he's just going to know Bruno's going to be putting it there. It does take time, especially Bruno's been playing deeper. He hasn't been playing in the 3, so lots of changes for the attack for United.
No, indeed. So in 27th minute, Bayern Deer had a decent save at the near post. Another really good ball back post from Bruno. No one was there. And then there was a sub at the end where Lindelof went down injured. So fan of the pod, legend, Johnny Evans came on in the 45th minute. And that was basically all she wrote in the first half of the game, sir. Going in, you think our boy Ruben Amorim is going to make any subs?
I mean, for the first half, to only be down a goal, it's a way, we got control of things. Number one thing to do not concede right after halftime, sir. We've seen this movie before.
Here goes Son. Pulled across and turned in by Kulusevski. Right at the start of the second half, Tottenham cement their position in this game. And as things stand, they're heading into the...
You got to be shitting me. I mean, like, what is United doing on defense? Like, I mean, everyone's just there's a lot of bodies there, not doing anything. Like, the white shirts are the ones running to the ball. Everyone's just watching. Delo standing around. It's just like, I don't know. We switch off. This team just can't play in that full 90 minutes.
No, there's a lot of ball watching today, especially in defense, and especially after how good defensively we were defending on the edge of the box and in the box against City on the weekend. This is a complete departure from that. And the only thing I'm trying to think now, rewatching the highlights as we do the podcast, is like, I guess all the leadership we had on the weekend's game is now gone, right? You don't have Onana, you don't have Maguire, you don't have De Ligt, and they looked headless. And as good as Martinez was on the weekend, he was bad today.
He wasn't that great, sir. And in the 54th minute, we'll get to it because Solanke...
Look at that graphic. Let's go.
He would cook your boy.
More pressure here on Manchester United. Solanke makes it 3. It's another dream evening against Manchester's finest.
I mean, we're not really enjoying the game at this point. You can put me in, coach, because I could stand there while Solanke just runs by me and just bangs it into the corner. That was like, what is he doing? Like that one doesn't even make sense to me. You should have bodied him up a little bit before the box here. He just gave him too much time and just stood there.
Martinez doesn't do anything. He plays him onside in the first place. Johnny Evans comes to bail him out. He doesn't do much of anything either, but either way, complete departure from the weekend. Just giving up sloppy goals, sloppy chances, sloppy opportunities. And that's where we talk about that mentality. So the fact that they gift us the chance got us back into this game. But at this point, I was thinking, ooh, these are one of those tough days, sir, when Spurs just has a laugh on your behalf.
Yeah, it's also this team does like to bluff. And we've seen him bluff many times before. And usually after like a big result, we kind of lay off the gas. I mean, that's historically what we've done. And United, like, at this point, all right, Anthony, get off. Amad on, 55th minute. Mainu on, Zirkzee on, Christian Eriksen off, Højlund off in the 56th. And then in the 63rd minute, sir, we would get the goal. It would be Zirkzee.
Another error from the goal.
Who's only in the team because of that injury to Vicario. Has given it away to Fernandes. And Zirkzee embarrasses the goalkeeper. He's just been denied by him with a wonderful save. And straight away, it's a gift from Fraser Forster. It's led to Zirkzee.
Fraser.
Sorry.
Talk about...
You know that guy?
You don't want your he has a little too much cave troll for a goalkeeper. You don't want your goalkeeper should not have any bridge troll to them.
Should have a little bridge troll, not too much.
They need to be more refined. You need more bridge troll in your center backs.
For sure.
United, sir, Amad had a deflected shot in the 68th minute, and in the 70th, look, this kid's unstoppable. Off the mark for United here. Another goalkeeping error.
That is ridiculous from Spurs. That bit's not. But this, I mean.
All right, here we go. Amad.
Yes, the counter's being reshuffled again, as is the pack, and Garnacho. Oh, it's a horrible moment from Forster, who has presented his second goal to Manchester United, to Amad Diallo. It's turning into a nightmare for the Tottenham goalkeeper.
But this is the moment.
I know.
This is the moment that you're watching and you are looking at this. And for me, I am like 100% United are coming back and equalizing. We are definitely going 3-3 with Tottenham. And as far as if we'll win, play to penalties, etc., like who knows? But I was without a doubt we were going to equalize with Tottenham once this goal went in. Because you can't get shipped to, have a 3-0 lead and not be that, like not have this team run riot.
I would 100% agree, sir. After the subs, the 3 subs that came on, that had a huge impact. We started creating chances. They gave us that chance that obviously gave us the first goal. Second goal was the same thing, but we were creating good chances at this point. But like you said, as soon as we got the second goal, I was like, no doubt we're going to do what it takes to get that third goal. But I feel like I have to say Spurs did a very good job of slowing the game down, and they like chewed up a lot of fucking clock. And United got frustrated, but like that's with the lack of cutting edge. But there was the impetus. But I said bad defending once again killed you because you could have tied it late. But you didn't have to worry about that because obviously Spurs got their 4th goal in the 88th minute.
No, and 71st we had Garnacho come on for Ugarte. I like that sub. He came on. Look, he was one of the bluffers that got left out against City. He worked his way back in the team. He's getting on the pitch. That's a good story. It's a good sign for Garnacho. Maz had an unbelievable opportunity here in the 74th minute. This was really it. He scores that. I think we go on to win. He doesn't. Unfortunately, Spurs would get their goal in the 88th minute, and it came from a Sir finish the sentence.
What do you think, Kona?
Set
direct
piece.
corner. Direct corner.
Manchester United goalkeeper and his colleagues are arguing they feel there was a hand in there. They feel it's come off.
I mean, he's got some chops that
They're bad.
we
They're
got to
bad
talk
luck.
about.
They're bad
So,
luck. I feel bad. First of all, we gotta feel bad for
put him
Altai.
on the screen. Nobody in the world should be doing like.
I ain't good for nobody.
He's
Turkish. He can go to the hair. He can go to the
hair.
hair log and they do beard implants too, sir.
But like, we grew up in New Jersey, sir.
Saw some bad beards.
There's some like chops were a thing in high school in New Jersey. Chops, like you'd have these ugly sideburns. Our good buddy had them, but nobody rocks this like this rock star chop
He's
and
got
then
a
fade in.
I know the fade in.
And so like
we
I
can't
just
dog our
gotta
own
say, number one, this guy shouldn't be taken seriously. Like, hey, Bayern Deer, dead to me today. These chops, like
let alone the
him in the
performance.
net.
I mean, this
him
goal.
in the net. Like, see you later.
The goal he just
Like,
conceded.
Ship him. January done, gone. Need another guy. Like,
So we got enough. He won't play.
I'm just letting you know.
You basically don't play him until the summer, then you sell him.
But he also hasn't been played for a long time by a lot of managers,
there's-
which is also a red flag. And then the chops, dead to me. Like he's gone.
Sir.
Get rid of him.
He got signed by Ten Hag and never played. Like he
No, I
did
know,
a
it's
Fred.
like a classic.
Mourinho did that with Fred. Signs Fred, never plays him. He's like, this guy, that's not sure.
Sir, this is going to be like a podcast punishment. You got to grow chops like this
good.
and fade up. Like
that's
nobody.
brutal.
Like
He can get the
You're
Turkish beard. Sir, Altai Bayindir, he's gonna jump back. Wishing him the best. He's still a United player, sir, at the end of the day.
dead to me. You're done after that one. And then obviously Johnny Evans, fan of the pod, dying moments. He never says die, sir.
In towards Johnny Evans. Oh, it's another one! It is not over yet!
And unfortunately, it would be over. Manchester United would lose 4-3. And it's 4-3 that's hard to digest. Because at the end of the day, we created more XG. We had more shots, 20-9. They had more shots on target. We had 5. They had 6. We had more of the ball, 54% to their 46%.
At their house.
At their house, but we were so all over the place, so disjointed, and conceding in the wrong order where you're like giving away 3. You're shipping them early in the second half. Then you got them where you want. You can't break through. Then you concede a corner. Like, there was a shout of a foul on Bayindir, but you got to be tougher than that, and he didn't have a good day all around. It doesn't give us a lot of confidence. You would like to see him come in and fight for the spot. Onana isn't really in the best form, and then for him to lay this big of an egg, it's just concerning.
No, you want depth in your goalkeepers, and we've had good depth over the years, and now at the moment, right, number one, he was good for a while, but he did have bad streak, couple big errors in back-to-back games, so you want somebody keeping competition on. The fact that Bayindir looks like a non-entity at this point, basically someone we can't even trust for the EFL games, because today, at the end of the day, it was largely promising, right? Like you could see what Ruben's trying to do. We created chances. We lacked the kind of edge. Sloppy still possession. I think the subs. What it shows also is like we needed the subs to get into the game, right? Because
yes.
We don't have depth, and we have we probably have enough for a decent 11, but like you put in Anthony, put in Lindelof, you're in trouble. So we'll get there. It's going to take time, but at least the manager is getting through to some of these guys, and the players that look the real deal are continuing to perform. I.e., Amad Diallo. Mazraoui looks a hell of a player, so it's encouraging. Ugarte was good once again. He's solid. Euro came in, youngster, 19, like first 90 minutes. That was good to see. So brick by brick, guys. It's been 5 weeks. We'll get there, but I'll take it.
I feel for Amorim because he's like
hardest job in the world, bro.
He's literally putting these players out there and be like, somebody show me something, and he's just getting dog shit. Like, hey, Bayindir, Onana's not playing great. Give me a reason to play it. Like, that's what you come up with. You come up with those chops, and like that's what you got. Like, it's really that, and like all across the board. Like people come in getting re-injured. They've been out. They finally get back re-injured. Then you're seeing like Eriksson come in. Lindelof go down, like just more of this Anthony bluffing, and then he's like barely hanging on with the good players he has and pulling it together. So shout out to Ruben Amorim. Let's hear what he has to say.
We're all behind you.
Yeah, that's his. I think that resumes the game. We control the possession. I think we were not the best team in all of the game, but most of the parts I think we were the best team. We had the same situations in the first half that similar that the second and the third goal of Tottenham, and that made a difference. I think we disconnect for 8 minutes. It was really hard to recover from that, but then the lads did a great job to recover. We were so near the draw, so near, and that could make the difference because we still have time to win the game. But then the fourth goal was really hard for us. We managed to respond, but in the end it was not enough, and we are out of the cup.
Look, he doesn't pull any punches. Credit to Amorim. I really like his style. He's the type of guy that he does call it straight. And he's done a great job dealing with all the Rashford drama, which we really haven't even gotten into. But I like him. I'm happy he's our coach. He's fighting a battle on multiple fronts, and I think I have a lot of faith in him.
100%. Echo that sentiment 100%. We are fortunate to have Ruben Amorim in the saddle, sir. We were talking about this before the pod. 2 months ago, we were in Erik ten Hag hell, and now we are, we lost to Spurs. I want to win. I love beating those bluffers all day, but there's a clarity of mind. He is got the personality. He's got the ability to affect matches with substitutes. You've seen that time after time in a very, very short tenure. And he's got the riz. And I think you need the vibes. He's got the vibe. I'm excited about Ruben Amorim. I think we all are. We got to be patient. It's going to take a while. He's not going to have as much dry powder as some of the old other managers had to spend big. So he's going to have to do a slow burn, and we have to get behind that.
Yeah, and looking at the average positioning of Manchester United, you can see why we were more disjointed. I mean, look at Anthony right there. He couldn't get up the pitch, didn't create space, didn't connect with Haaland at all. You would think that left foot he would be able to. It was just much more disconnected. That right-hand side, very clogged up. Tottenham more expansive. They dominated the ball. You can see the connections there. Sarr doing well. Maddison linking play. United just... Not our day. Not our day. A lot of changes, though, and it does... For me, the amount of changes, it makes sense why we had such a rough first half and a little bit of the second before the big subs.
It really does, because if we look at all the other formations under Ruben Amorim, they had a very defined back three. Like, even if everything's were a mess, there was always a really nice back three, and I think this is maybe like who was the big dog leading the line today for the back three. I think it should have been Martinez, because, he's like the senior most guy. He wasn't. He had a bad day today, and I think it showed. So, the subs made a huge impact in the second half. So we came on the 60th minute, and it was like the Amad show, and even Zirkzee had a role to play, and Bruno was playing better. So there's something there, but it's going to take a while.
But there's a word that has evaded us: consistency. Manchester United has not been consistent in like a decade, and that's something we're gonna have to learn, because look, if he made the changes, we look a lot better, but you need to be able to come out early in the first half and take it to Spurs, because lads, it's Tottenham. All right, jumping into fan questions here. What do the Red Devils have to say? At Icy1, quote, do you lads think we need to find a new backup keeper? Yes. And it's critical to have a good backup. Absolutely critical. We had Dean Henderson. That was our backup.
Romero, who's one of the best backups in the game.
Like, he arguably should have been number one at a certain point.
He was incredible.
We were like, De Gea, I feel like, we shipped him out of town. I really think that was a rash decision by Ten Hag. He made a lot of calls. And Onana, I want Onana to be the guy. I do want him to be the guy. There are red flags. Unfortunately, there are red flags.
The question was with the backup keeper. I think De Gea will make a fine backup keeper, so they should bring him back. You're probably going to afford him now.
You need a better backup, because De
Gea can't play with his feet, sir. So he would not be able to play with Ruben Amorim. So it would not be a success.
I'm not even talking about De Gea. I'm saying because Onana is shaky, having a good backup's more important.
It's super
And
critical.
by the way, bringing Bayindir in here is kind of like, hey, have a go and maybe push Onana to maybe get a start. Who knows, right? And I have a feeling that when you saw Bayindir, you're like, Onana's the clear number one, and you prefer him to come out and play really well and ask questions of Onana, and then Onana hopefully get the best out of him. That's not happening, so I think we need to get a backup who could do that.
The best De Gea ever was, sir, was when he had Romero breathing down his neck.
Yes.
And he was unbelievable, 18. And then, you need competition to keep you hot. So I totally agree, because Onana had a bunch of gaffes. You want to be able to keep the fire under his ass by saying, hey, your spot's up for grabs, but Bayindir, don't, because he's looked shady twice. He looked like 2 months ago, he played under Ten Hag, and he looked just as shaky.
It's the chops. At Moneyline Jesus Sirs, I think Amorim might be the first manager in a long time that puts the league first. Damn straight. December is a gauntlet, so don't mind the rotation, getting a feel for all the players and using them as training sessions. I know it's an L, but this season is show and prove and on to the next. I totally agree. Like, he should be rotating. He is rotating. He is figuring out. He's moving players around too, like Bruno in the 2, Bruno in the 3, getting different looks. I really like how Amorim's getting every single angle of every player and then making sure he knows how to get the best out of them. That's a very interesting style. I like it. Like I said, we should be focused on playing this style against everybody. That's the opposite of Ten Hag, who is, in the cup competitions, defending, playing a style to win it. Ruben Amorim's just playing to get better and get the best out of his team.
Yeah, and that will lead to winning, right? He has this clear identity he's trying to build. It makes sense. There's already a method to the madness, the back three. You saw it definitely against City, and you even saw it in glimpses in the second half against Spurs. But we'll get there. It's going to take a long time, right? It's still a hodgepodge squad that he's got to decouple. So let's give him time, and we'll just pick out the gems over time, right? Amad Diallo signed the thing. Build the squad around him.
At Mike United Mets, maybe the first match where John could have actually laced up and played. Damn straight. Seriously, couldn't be worse than either of those goalkeepers. Grow out those button chops and get this sort of tryout. For keeper, Alex is the keeper. When we were down in Argentina playing the locals, Alex was in
tall,
net.
Bro.
And
I'll
never forget,
keeper.
we were in that feisty local match, and you came out as keeper and punched the ball.
Mendoza,
and just,
bro, was fiery.
And knocked out this Argentinian dude. You punched him right in the face. Alex back in net, that. Hey, you wouldn't have Bayindir'd it. Bayindir's way softer. So
I got way more cojones than
cave
Bayindir.
troll bones in you. You just came out and punched the Argentinian dude in the face. That was such a
Let's
riot.
go for the ball, but it was a chippy. It was a very chippy game. It was an incredibly chippy game.
You went all in, baby.
He was offsides trapped. There was like no offsides. It was a fucking mess.
When Alex is a keeper, he's coming out. He's like, get off the tracks. Train's coming through. But that's what you want your keeper to do.
You do.
You want to have the attackers be thinking twice. The keeper's coming through with a fist. At you, Bolson. I've seen enough. Zirkzee and Erasmus will never be good enough to lead the line. Starting to think this squad is barely a top 10 squad. Oof. In the end, pretty embarrassing performance for both teams. What do you make of the Zirkzee Erasmus cut?
I don't think they're the player today. I hope I think Rasmus will get there in a couple of years. I think he needs some big things to work on. We talk about that final ball being at the back post. How many times he could have gotten a goal over the last 2 seasons by being at the back post. And I think Zirkzee, fit for like kind of a player that will move around the front three. I think he will be an effective player, but he's not a number 9. So we're still dying for Solanke. Like Solanke today, he would have scored a couple goals. From Bruno was throwing in those great crosses in the first half, he would have gotten 2. So I definitely agree in the sense like right now we are dying because we don't have a proper Premier League number 9, and that is what this team needs. If we're gonna try and go for Europe, you need someone to score fucking goals.
Also consistency. So I would say Rasmus right now probably has the raw talent, but he's not consistent.
No, he's not.
He has a little bit of an attitude. Something tells me he's decently conceited for the level he is at. He also didn't play well in the Euros. That's another red flag for me when you go into another system. He was like MIA for Denmark, didn't play well this summer. Came into United. Could he be the guy? I think maybe, but it's just a tough, what is he? Is he like you look at Solanke and you're like, that's the package. What's Højlund? Is he hold up? Is he in the box? Is he, I don't know what he is. And I don't know if he knows what he is at the end of the day. And it's you almost need to specialize a little bit.
He's 21, so he's got time. Solanke's ahead of him, so we'll see.
No, it just feels Ruben a little clunky to me, but he's a good player.
Well, I think he tries to body players too much, and that's very hard because center backs in the Premier League are fucking units. So
but take him to 1998.
He's a big guy. I mean, 6'4". He's the size of Holland.
Yeah, but you take him to 1998. That's how they were playing back then. But you take him to 2024.
I think Ruben Amorim, if you look what he did with Gorky's, and him running into channels, I think he'll be a player that will fit into the system quite well. So I think Rasmus in the second half of the season, if he can be more consistent, will be more effective. We're still going to craft for goals.
Everything. For me, attitude's everything.
You think he's got a bad attitude? I think he's got an arrogant attitude that you want from a striker.
I don't think I'm saying between Zirkzee and Rasmus over the long term, whoever has who has the best attitude, which basically means
best head on his shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. Under Amorim, and we'll do everything, do the extra hard yards. That's who I think will be successful, and we hope that one of them will because we need the goals. At D_Cole18, don't mind the rotation in a cup game when the focus has to be on top 4 or even Europa League qualification over Mickey Mouse trophies. Amorim got to see a lot of players he hadn't yet, and the team showed fight to come back from 3-0 down. He's a tinkerer, and I'll find this squad out. What do you make of that, sir?
I like a tinker. I'm not that worried about the trophy either. We already got it, and I like the fact that he's testing things out. He's seeing, hey, can I play Anthony in the front 3? No, I cannot play Anthony in the front 3. Can I play Lindelof as the holder in the back 3? No, I cannot do that. So it's just
you should. You should be able to.
He should be able to, but he can't. So it's better to know and then play Anthony if you have to as a fucking wingback because that's probably the only place he could play and not bottle the job because in the front 3, that ain't good for nobody, sir.
All right. If you like the America Red Devils, that is it. That is the podcast. Please subscribe. Check us out on YouTube at AmericaRedDevils.com. Check out our store, AmericaRedDevils.store. Grab some merch. Patreon.com/AmericaRedDevils. Sir, give us our top 10 downloads the last 7 days.
Number 1. How we doing? New York, New York, Chicago, Illinois, Houston, Texas, Brooklyn, New York, Los Angeles, California, Melbourne, Australia, Atlanta, Georgia, Dublin, Ireland, Philadelphia, PA, and last but not least, Charlotte, North Carolina. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. We got holiday fixtures coming thick and fast, Boxing Day matches. We got Bournemouth on the weekend. And that means it's time for some 12 Cantona, sir. We'll catch you all next time. Whew, we're the American Devils. Let's go.
We got 12 Cantonas.